the property, manage the property, whatever. Their job is to lend money out so that you can buy property. They don't want to have to take homes back. So a lot of times when a property goes into auction, the bank has it, and they will let it go for far less because they don't want to deal with that shit.
Right. On the tax thing, man, you can go buy them and they're super cheap and you're paying it off, but they always do have the first right of refusal to come make you whole and take the property back. And I feel like a lot of times once they feel like somebody's bought a tax deed, that's a good kick in the ass to kind of get it in motion. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but I think that's a numbers game. I think you could probably win in the end, but you'd have to pay a lot of attention to it. I think you'd be better off just investing like a normal investor. That's my opinion. Yeah.
What else do we got here? Oh, Manny BXB, AED369. Thank you so much, my friend. I gotta look at what currency that is. Can you tell us what currency that is?
That's UAE.
UAE? Okay, shout out to Dubai.
Nice, man.
United Arab Emirates. It goes, we got here, shout out to Fresh Mariner Waller. I'm from London.
Now in Dubai. Been here as a broker for 7 years, and the real estate market is hot.
It is. It's very hot.
In Dubai?
Yeah, they're building everywhere, bro. Me and Andrew went and looked at a whole floor when we were there. We're gonna buy the whole thing.
Oh shit,
nice. We ended up not doing it, but yeah, it's real hot over there. They're building stuff all over the place. They're developing. It's crazy how they're turning sand into cities.
Yeah.
So
is that going to be like a frontier for a lot of entrepreneurs and mobile expatriates, I guess?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I look at Dubai, like everybody fights out in the economies in the world politically and all otherwise, and then they all meet in Dubai and play golf and laugh at the world.
All the world problems.
While they're playing puppet master against each other publicly, I think they're cheersing on a yacht privately.
Wow, we need to go to Dubai, man.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of tax
Dubai's
benefits.
Legit.
Yeah,
Dubai's legit. I'm actually about to go. I've got some. I'll be back in Dubai.
Got business stuff over there.
Yeah. Go there.
And then the inspectors are a-holes when working with Section 8.
Facts.
Yeah, they are. Myron, are all your properties turnkey? Yes. All my properties that I purchased personally are turnkeys, guys, but you don't have to necessarily do that. I got one right now that I'm getting rehabbed, but I basically paid for it up front. The guy I'm buying it from a rehabber, and yeah, it costs a little bit more, but I don't like the headache of having to rehab shit myself, because right now, another thing you guys want to, and also you can speak about this in more educated fashion, it's not going to be easy to get contractors to do big projects, guys, especially on residential. You want to talk about that, I guess, a little bit more on your, since you have a company that does this?
Yeah, so one thing that you have to understand about subcontractors, and when you're trying to be the contractor yourself, is that you are not victim, but you are in the way of,
at the mercy of,
at the mercy of multiple other projects.
Good point.
So I was meeting with a developer in Las Vegas. I'm actually about to go see him in San Diego in the next couple of days, and he's gotten to the point where he has hired all of his carpenters directly. You know, because that's a huge part of the critical path. And the critical path in construction is like the very important things that must happen to really get the other trades, you know, that you got to pour the slab, you got to put the roof on so the electrical guys can rough in. You got to rough in before you can do the sheetrock, you know. So there's this path in construction as you go through the 16 divisions that are very important. And putting a bunch of contractors in a house, you just have to understand that a lot of times that contractor is going to show up to the house where the person that screamed the loudest or that owes them the most money, they're going to show up there, which has nothing to do with your schedule.
Oh.
So you're really at the mercy of that in that regard a lot of times when you're dealing with contractors. So I'm not saying don't do construction. I'm not saying don't rehab a house, but I am saying to keep that in mind when you're looking at a deal, especially when you're looking at the cost of money over the time that it's going to take you to do the construction. So if you're bridge loaning, and a bridge loan is nothing more than, hey, I'm buying here and I'm going to do this construction cost, and then we're going to bridge it into long-term financing, you know. It's just something.
So they roll the fixing costs into that 30-year loan for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just something to really pay attention to and making sure that you hit the schedule. Schedule is one of the biggest things in construction. We scream about safety. Safety's up there, but quality and production is not far behind. In fact, in reality, a lot of times that schedule is the thing that really gets heated when you're in a construction trailer on a big job site and there's 16, 20 dudes in there arguing about whose fault it is that you're behind schedule. That's what motherfuckers are talking about, because that's where the money is. Hit the fucking schedule. So
because you lose money if you bring it in late, right?
Well, it's the cost of money. So if you're borrowing that money for an extra 3 months, oh fuck, it's money. Think about it on a house flip. You buy a house. I loan money on flips.
Yeah.
So I just lent a dude 160 grand.
Yeah.
He's paying me 12% interest on
Oh shit!
So
You loan shark, you.
This guy works with the mafia or some shit.
that. If that project goes out an extra 6 months, I'm going to get paid double what I would have been paid otherwise, because it's the time that money is out.
Yeah.
You know, so guys, when it comes to contractors, you know, one of the main things that you really need to look at is not just the price, but how fast can you do this job. And I would also put in my contract something called liquidated damage, which I would put it in my contract how many days it's going to take them to do it, and then every day that they go over schedule, you take a certain amount of money out of their account.
Keep
Because
them honest.
I can tell you one thing that will speak louder than some Karen saying that she has a messed up, you know, piece of paint in one room.
Yeah.
Is that, motherfucker, I'm going to take $500 a day for every day you miss the schedule.
Yeah.
So keep that in consideration when you're dealing with contractors, because they're very good at making excuses, and you have to hold their feet to the fire to get your fucking job done, because they're not going to pay your extra cost of money.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too people need to know is that being a contractor right now is very hot, because we got a home shortage, guys, in case you didn't know. You know, we're 5.5 million homes short of starter family homes, which is the standard 3.2. So, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense for a lot of contractors to build these homes. So what are they prioritizing? Well, you talk to guys like Dustin, whatever, they're prioritizing commercial, because that's where they make the most money on these contracts. Now building, you know, 3.1s or 3.2s. So it's going to be very difficult a lot of times to find contractors to deal with residential properties, or they're going to charge you more or whatever. It's got to make sense for them.
I've been waiting 3 months to find one. I just found one thanks to Roger, but that took 3 months, bro.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
A good one that actually wants to do the work.
I mean, do you even at this point, Justin? Do you touch residential at all, or you're just strictly commercial, right?
I would not buy a residential. You know, I mean, I just put a house on the market today.
Yeah.
So I was gonna flip it. I fell in love with it. Decided to, you know, that look, I'm here too much. I don't even go in the house, so I'm selling it.
Yeah.
You know, and I got duplex and a couple trailers behind that are gonna go with it.
Yeah.
And maybe a commercial property I have. That was the one that I bought. That I was gonna do the 20
The
units
office
on.
building?
Yeah, the office building. So
Yeah.
I bought this big warehouse and some land. I was gonna turn it into a 20-unit deal. And I had everything underwritten. I'd gone to the bank. I'd shown them architect plans, everything. COVID hit. I'm like, fuck this. What am I doing? So, I mean, because everybody started working from home, right?
Yeah.
And so even though my company was going to anchor it, it would have been long. And so I'm definitely either going to hold it and just pay it off this year and just wait. There's supposed to be a big train station come through there, and it's in an opportunity zone. So I might just pay it off and wait. But in regards to buying property this year, no, I wouldn't buy a single family house at this point. I have too much cash stacked up, and in my opinion.
Well, what about people that like want to get one fixed or whatever? As far as like would you as someone that
As a
like
young
runs a
guy?
construction company or yourself, right? It doesn't make sense for you to work on like, you know, building and doing single family homes, would it? Or
I'm actually, so I have a buddy of mine that called me the other day. He's got a big tract of land that we might develop.
okay,
But that's really more about
building a bunch of them.
Well, it's not even about building the houses. It's about buying the land, subdividing it, and building the roads, and then selling it to the builders.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not building shit.
Advanced stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
But in
Yeah.
regards to like, if I were a young guy, dude, if you're a young guy and you can get an FHA loan for a fourplex, because the loan goes up
There you
to 4 units.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
If I was in my 20s and a young guy, I would buy a fourplex with an FHA loan.
House hack.
Yeah, rent it out and live in that one unit.
Bam.
Just long enough to rent out my unit and move into another house.
Yep.
I really would.
Yep.
I really, really would. And then, you know, you get to keep that loan. Just tell the bank to change your mind.
After a year, you can move out with no penalty, guys. So I mean, it's a fantastic way to get yourself into a property with little money down. I mean, you know, because since you're putting so little money down, you're probably gonna break even when you after you collect the rent from the other tenants, or maybe a little bit of cash flow. But that's fine, because you know for a fact that once you move out and you put that unit on the market, you're gonna be able to go ahead and cash flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can leave earlier legally with other means.
No. Just stay in it for a year, guys. Stay in it for a year, guys.
And
Sorry.
the other beautiful thing about that, so let's say you have a decent job. Let's say you make $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
And let's say you make 100, just so I have a more round number. So if you make 100 grand a year and you get approved to buy this fourplex, so not only are you going to get the cash flow, you're going to be able to do a cost segregation study to basically reduce the amount of taxes that you make on your W-2 job.
Yeah.
And so even if you can't cover all of your taxes, you're still going to get a tax deduction for that property.
Yep.
And I don't know if you can get this or not, but when you sell the property, if you sell the property and you don't hold on to it, I mean, there is the exemption, the homestead exemption.
Yeah,
I think it's 2 years, right?
Also.
2 years, I think you got to
Yeah,
live in
yeah,
the
you got to be
property.
in it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think definitely worth it. I would definitely, if I were a young guy. In fact, the first thing I did in 2013 or 14, I bought a single family, and the first thing I did is turn it into a duplex, and it's cash flowed me $600 a month ever since.
Bam.
Cost
There
of
you go.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing too, guys, is like when you were talking about the cost segregation, that's separate from depreciation. So for the depreciation, guys, you can depreciate the house over
can sell it,
27
yeah.
and a half years, which will give you a huge tax write-off. Then on top of that is something called cost segregation, guys, which is basically you can go ahead and write off non-structural elements of the home,
Appliances,
etc., like things in the home. And here's the beauty: you can depreciate that over 5 years. So since it's a shorter
You
time
accelerate it.
span, you can go ahead and depreciate at a way higher rate, which saves you a lot more money, guys. So if you do like any rehabs, even if you bought the house from somebody, right, and you're like, let's say they put $100,000 into it, and then you buy it after, you can still cost seg off of their fixes.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's another reason why I buy turnkeys, guys. Another reason, I guess I'll give you guys a little bit of game here. The reason why I like to buy turnkeys so much is because even though, yes, I am paying a little bit higher because they rehab the property for me, so they're going to obviously charge me more than what it costs them to fix it, is because I'm able to absorb their fixing costs on that home for me into cost segregation for the tax year, which gives me a way bigger pool of money, right, to write off versus over this. So you got two different buckets you can for the tax purposes. You got the regular depreciation, which is over 27 and a half years, and then you got the cost segregation, which is over 5 years. With these two elements, I'm able to aggressively deduct that house against my earned income, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, which is what Justin was talking about. You make 100 grand a year W-2, and then if your house had fixes or whatever it may be, you're able to almost eliminate that earned income, which means you pay less money on taxes overall because you use the depreciation on the house against your earned income. And then Uncle Sam now can't take as much money away from you versus, let's say you made that 100K per year and you didn't have that asset. Well, Uncle Sam now is going to take way more money from you.
Yep.
Does that make sense, guys?
And if for whatever reason you can't use it all, you can push it into the future 3 years and use it later.
Yes. That depreciation, that cost segregation, guys, you can go ahead and use it for years and years in the future. So,
Damn.
man, yeah, guys. How would you recommend Muslims get into real estate knowing we can't deal in interest, or is buying homes by cash the only alternative way for us?
You can get interest-free loans.
You can, yeah.
Because my family, they're in a different state. They're all Muslim. That property, but it's interest-free loans. There's no interest on those loans at all. So.
What do you need to qualify to join War Room?
Well, you can get in touch with me and I'll talk to you about it on a deeper level. Jay Waller 7. All of you guys that are interested in the War Room, send me a message today. In fact, when we leave here, that's the number one thing we're doing. My inbox is full of guys right now I'm responding to. So today is a very good day for that.
Bam.
There you go.
203K loan is a type of FHA, just that the rehab cost is wrapped into the loan. Okay. Only need 39K on the day of closing on that 501K. Thank God I got it covered without taking any money out of pocket. 7% interest rate. Yeah, I mean 7%. That sounds about right. For today's market. So okay, that's good. So they wrapped the cost of loan for you. The rehab.
It's a long term. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's good, bro. I mean, I don't know what the market is like where you're at, but on paper, to me, that looks like it's good. I mean, 7% is pretty much what it is now. I mean, the only thing I would say is look into possibly buying points. And I know some people are like, whoa, buying points? What are you talking about, man? Sometimes it can actually save you money in the long term. And what you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck is buying points? Basically, what you're doing is you're buying points to bring that interest rate down.
Yeah.
Okay, and typically it's going to be $1,000 per point that you buy, right? Which it could and you pay it at closing. Yes, it'll make your closing costs a little bit more expensive. When you do the math though and figure it out, over 30 years, you're paying less money overall because your monthly payment's going to go down because the interest rate goes down. So I've done it before too, guys, where when the interest rate started to spike up, I just started buying points, and that significantly decreased my interest rate, which then brought down my monthly payment, which then increased the cash flow. Okay, so you're basically bringing that interest rate down up front so that you can save more money later.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you can do as well. So if I'm understanding, Justin, your rent roll should be able to cover the extra money the bank is going to ask for to refinance the low rate.
Yes.
And then OG Thunder Z, yo boys, I just got my social security number and my green card and I want to start building credit. I have a secure credit card with only a $300 credit line. I cannot increase my credit line because it is a secured credit line, 1 out of 2. Yeah, bro. So good. You got a secured credit card. Most secured credit cards, guys, after you've shown like a good history of being able to pay your bills on time and everything else like that, they'll let you turn it into an unsecured credit card. So I know the Discover card has a very, and we talked about it on our beginner credit card episode. The Discover, I think it has a very good secured credit card. And then after a period of time, you can convert it to an unsecured credit card, which will then start to help you build your credit. And then also, another glitch is look into being an authorized user under someone that knows and trusts you. That will also help you go ahead and get your credit built up fast. That's one of the fastest ways to kind of hack it.
Yeah. Auntie, uncle, maybe your mother, father. Someone you trust.
Just don't fuck their credit up, man. Like, pay your bills in full. Don't carry a balance. And don't mess them up. Make sure that, as usual, guys. You want to be paying the 2 biggest factors when it comes to credit, guys, is number 1, paying the bill on time, and then number 2, maintaining under 30% on that credit line. Okay, so if you have a $1,000 credit limit, you want to stay below $300 if you can help it. Okay, and the reason why is because credit card companies tend to start looking at you as a higher risk spender as you pass 30%. Then once you hit 50%, the algorithms really start kicking in, and then that's when you can run into some issues where your credit score starts to drop off, fairly high. And then also you'll start to notice if you spend erratically, depending on the credit card company, right? They'll start to like decline transactions for you once you get over 50%, because they'll start to be like, okay, what's going on here? Is this card stolen? This is erratic spending. What the fuck's going on here? So the credit card companies have a bunch of different types of algorithms and formulas they use to see the trustworthiness of a potential person they're lending that's holding their credit card. Okay, so the limit might say 10,000, but if you're spending 5,000 in one shot and you don't normally do that, whatever, they might turn your card off right there and then.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael Meestroke, $1, thank you so much. $10 from OG Thunder Z. Now, do I forget about this credit card and get a secured card with a higher limit, or do I build some credit and then get an unsecured card and then go from there? So we just answered that, but just like I said before, the unsecured credit card, a lot of times they have the option to turn unsecured after a period of time and trustworthiness. Okay, and then as soon as you're able to get that card unsecured, apply for other credit cards that are fairly easy to get, so that you can increase your overall credit limit, guys.
Yeah, you can start with like a Chase Freedom, man. Those are pretty easy to get.
Yeah.
Chase Freedom.
Oh, and then another tip is always ask for a credit card that's tied to a bank that you already deal with. So like, let's say you have a Bank of America bank account. We'll try to get a credit card through Bank of America. You're gonna have a higher likelihood of being approved for that credit card if you're already a customer with them. Okay. Same thing with Chase or these other major banks. REITs just as good. I don't want to deal with people.
I mean, I don't think it's real estate investment.
Yeah, it's not
I feel
at
like
all.
it's buying stocks.
Just lazy, man.
Yeah, it's basically
Basically buying stocks. I'm not saying the return's not there. I'm just simply saying that I don't look at it as real estate investing.
Not at all. REITs is like fucking having sex with your wife with a condom on. You guys been married for 30 years. That's what REITs is, bro.
It's like you're buying paper.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And a lot of people like the REITs because they don't have to deal with toilets, and they I guess enjoy a better dividend payout. But it's like, bruh, like you own one property, that's gonna destroy any type of returns you're gonna get on a REIT.
Yeah.
Like way more. And like you can, if you really hate managing properties that much, you can put a manager in there.
Or you can buy a property big enough to hire a property manager.
Yeah.
Which is the point.
Which is exactly.
Yeah. It's like what we were talking about earlier. It's like, why would I not buy a single family? Well, if I buy 20, 40, 50 units at a time, it's big enough that I can actually slip that property manager in and I can pay them to do what they're actually good at.
Yep.
And then when you get to Ken's level, you have like 300 employees, and well, yeah, of course you have systems and checklists, but really, I think most people that are in that mid-range where we were talking about, like kind of buying, man, get one big enough where you can actually afford to put a property manager in there. It keeps you legal. It stops the phone from ringing, and it allows you to focus on what you should be focused on, which is buying more deals.
Yeah. What would you say, after how many doors would you say a property manager is pretty much?
Man, I think that would be up to the 16 to 32, You
want a property manager?
Yeah.
Okay, so so you have it. Okay, you have it. I was gonna say, like, if you have over, if you have more than like 3 or 4 doors and it's more than one property, you might want to
take how lazy I am. I have property managers on my new business.
Yeah,
I don't have time, bro. Take your money.
I would say it depends on the actual individual, because let's say, for example, like you don't want to deal with that shit.
I'm not.
3, 4
I refuse.
units.
Or if you're out of state, that's damn near mandatory. You have a property manager.
Right.
Even if you have 2 doors.
If you're a business owner, you got to spend your money and time in your business, not with real estate.
Yeah.
So,
and again, that's case in point is like when it's one door, that property management cost is ratio-wise
High.
is substantially high.
20%, probably
Yeah.
10% sometimes.
Right. So, like, I agree with Grant Cardone on this, actually. He talks about it. He's like, look, buy enough of a property where it's actually a situation where you can hire like a property manager.
Yeah,
Because I think Ken will tell you too, it's like, yeah, finding them's hard, but it's also managing them's fucking hard.
it is, dude.
You know, you gotta be right. You have to be legally correct, and you have to screen the tenants, and you have to know what they do, and you have to deal with the late fees, and you have to deal with the dogs pissing everywhere, and you have to deal with the fact that they want to put their trash out outside the door and leave it, and then somebody's complaining, and then somebody's upstairs playing music. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a thing, man. I've had tenants call me, and I'm like, fuck this property manager.
yeah.
So definitely something to keep into consideration. And if you own a property, that's also why I like owner finance,
Yeah.
because they don't call you with that bullshit. So if I were buying single families, like when I was buying trailers,
This is a secret right here. Listen up, guys.
when I was buying trailers, I wouldn't rent them. I'd owner finance them. And it's beautiful because I take a deposit, money down. So let's say I sell.
You were the owner, right? You were
I'm
selling
owner,
it.
right? So let's say I sell my property for $50,000, 20% down. I take the $10,000, which by the way is probably 5 times more than I pay for. Well, at least $7,000 more than I pay for the trailer.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm already ahead cash flow wise.
Yeah.
They pay me rent. But what they don't do, since it's an owner finance, is that they don't call me about toilets. They don't call me about, barking dogs next door. They own the house, and I don't have to have the insurance on it. I don't have to have the flood insurance. I don't have homeowner's insurance, nothing. So, and they treat the property better.
Bam.
Because
So-
it's theirs.
It's theirs. So they have home ownership. You're not getting any phone calls. You can get in a really good cash position on the deal, and you still control the equity on property.
Bam. And
That's a W.
when you told me this
it's a
other
dub.
day, I was like, holy, like it's literally like a light bulb flip, because in my head it's like, yeah, if your tenant knows that they're going to own the property, they're going to treat it way better.
Different.
And they're basically a property manager in itself.
Well, they are, because they own the house, not
Yeah.
you. So that's
Yeah.
very clear up front. It's like, listen, this is your home. I'm giving you the American dream, not the other way around. So you take the money down, and then it's at a place where if the toilet messes up, they're fixing the toilet on their house while they're paying you off. You are acting as the bank.
Yep.
In that scenario. And I'll tell you another thing too, is a lot of times statistically, those people get the house halfway paid off, and then they default or move, which means you get to keep all of that money and do it again.
Yeah, I was going to say, most people that do owner financing, it's because they can't get a loan from the bank.
Yes.
So they're going to default eventually because
Exactly.
either they can't maintain it or the job is kind of finicky. So like that's
Yep.
a very good
Exactly.
take there. Because
Yeah.
dude, that's
It's-
fucking genius.
it's-
I like
ninja
that.
shit.
That's
Yeah.
that's the whole fact that you take 20% up front, which typically over covers what you purchased it for in the
On a
first
mobile
place.
home, it would, yes.
Yeah, that's insane.
I love mobile homes.
And then you still control the asset. That's a win-win. I can't even see. Is there an L?
Bobby,
Anywhere?
There's
you
not
can't
a no.
pay rent this month.
There's not a no.
The only thing I can think of, maybe less desirable tenants because they can't get a traditional loan. But like, I mean, even a person that has capital is going to want to go owner financing because they can probably get better terms than with a bank potentially, and
They
they're
took
going to own
our
it.
jobs.
So
Bobby, you can't pay rent today.
Yeah,
took
that's-
our jobs, man.
yeah, man. So
Yeah.
there you go, guys. Owner financing, man. And I never thought about that until you told me about it the other
That's
day.
fire, by the way.
$2, Joe Frasino. Appreciate that. $10 from this guy 9947. You guys got really good questions, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Question: can I combine a VA loan and the first-time homeowner's benefit, thinking about getting a job at the bank/lender to also get an employee discount or a fee waived?
Combine.
Yeah, I think he's trying to combine the VA and the FHA.
FHA.
No, I think he's talking about the VA and the exemption. Maybe.
Well, I guess I'll address it. If you get a VA loan, then you don't need an FHA because the VA is basically no money down.
0% down.
And then the FHA typically is 3.5% down. So you don't. That's different. And then as far as like getting a job at a bank or lender and getting a discount, I've never heard of that.
I haven't either.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did have some kind of program for employees.
There
probably is.
Big banks have that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that.
Haunted Bucks goes, hey guys, so I'm currently in e-commerce and I wanted to know what would be the best products to drop ship for the upcoming recession. Ooh,
My friend,
I don't know. I cannot
My
speak on
friend,
that. I'm not an e-commerce
we would
guy.
not know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I'm not going to talk what I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll bring. I guess we'll bring somebody that does drop shipping in the future.
Yeah.
Loved y'all and all the fire content. My plan is to go through flight training to become a pilot amongst a pilot shortage and invest surplus income into real estate. Any thoughts on this? Fantastic. And for you guys that are like, you know, W-2 employees where you're getting a paycheck from another entity, real estate is going to be fantastic for you because you're going to be able to offset that income. And any of you guys making, I think, what's the threshold where you start to get into that first tax bracket where they start to kill you? I think it's like 88K or above.
I think it's like 85, 88.
When they start to tax you at that higher rate, man, you know, you six-figure earners, you low six-figure earners, you guys are in one of the worst situations because, and I used to be in that range when I was working for the government myself. You make enough money, right, where they're looking at you as like upper middle class, but you're not necessarily making enough money to not feel the pain from those taxes. That makes sense, guys? You're in that weird, awkward middle ground, right? So for you guys, especially that, you know, my 80K to 150, 200K guys, you got getting a real estate property is going to help you immensely with going ahead and lowering your tax liability from your earned income job, which is, I mean, hell, it might be even worth it where that property barely makes you money because of the tax benefits alone, guys.
Yeah.
It might be worth it.
It's about what you keep, guys. You have to understand the middle class pays the taxes. Poor people don't pay taxes, and
Thank
rich
you.
people do not pay taxes. It is you. So figure it out.
Perfectly
it's a
said.
fact.
No, bro, I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, a lot of you guys, I make 150K per year, 250K per year, 300K per year, 400K per year. Yeah, congratulations. You guys are the ones that are paying the majority of the taxes.
Yeah,
Your hard work's paying off.
You know, especially if you don't have assets to your name. You're like a doctor, a lawyer, like one of these high income people that doesn't necessarily have assets to your name, but you have a high income skill or a high income job. Bro, you guys are what keep you guys are what the American government bleeds for taxes, man.
Damn.
You know. Let's see here. $10. An NBA Corey. Love that Waller is in construction, being able to relate and understand it all. He speaks nothing but facts about the industry. Yes, guys.
Yep.
Yes. You want to tell me a little bit about your company as far as like the numbers and what y'all do?
Yeah, man. So we're on track to do about 10 to 12 million this year. We've already profited 2.2 million in profit.
Sheesh.
We plan to grow to 30 million in the next few years. So we just made another really, really big hire that I got the phone call today that hire came through. So I don't plan on coming off the break at all. In fact, if anything, we're just going to keep growing divisions. I actually have a guy I'm talking to right now about starting to erect cell phone towers. So, yeah, so all the big cell phone towers. We'll see what happens, but we've been talking back and forth a lot, and my guys can definitely do it. We definitely understand how to pick it, hang it, you know, make it go. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, man, we're at year 12 in March. So I started at 24 and 36. So
12 years.
Yeah, it's been well over a decade in the steel business. You know, hanging steel from California to New York to everywhere.
Everywhere in the United States.
Yeah, like
we worked in every state pretty much, all 50.
Every state. I've not been to Alaska, but we've been in the islands quite a bit. St. John.
Oh wow.
We have been pretty much everywhere else though. We're in 16 states right now, so I have quite the army.
Okay. How big is like the staff number?
I know payroll last week was 135,000. So
last week alone. Wow.
Yeah, last week alone. So I'd say a little over 100 men.
100 men.
Yeah.
That's guys. Talk about scaling.
Real business,
and,
man.
and you started with how many to get to
I
that?
started off with 2 men.
2 guys.
Yeah.
12 years later, over 100 men.
Yeah.
You got project managers all over the country. You have physical locations as well, like I guess.
Yeah, we have a physical location. We run everything out of one office.
One office.
So yeah, the building we're in right now, I might buy actually.
Okay.
Just because it's like buying a G-Wagon. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, you gotta get off the cash.
Might as well.
I'll probably pay the land and the warehouse building off that I was going to develop, and then the owner says he's willing to sell it. So I might buy that as well.
That's huge.
Well, it's huge in the fact that I'm going to be able to charge my company rent. So I know that I'm going to get paid. So yeah, so
I like that.
Yeah,
Charge yourself.
That's what Grant Cardone did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
Smart
I'm gonna do that, and then fuck it.
I like East
Can you tell the people real quick about like how that would work? Like, so you buy it and then you rent it to yourself. Can you explain? Because I know the people in the chat are probably hold on, what's
Yeah. So Justin buys it, and he charges his company rent, and and his company's gonna fucking pay rent, or they're gonna get evicted. So it is what it is, and I'll take the depreciation on the property, and it'll actually, funny enough, because I'm set up as an S corp, and anybody that starts a business should set up as an S corp, I get paid a salary from the same company that's paying me rent, and so when I depreciate the property, it's going to go against my W-2 income. Checkmate.
Bam. Structure.
See you guys. And you're based out of Louisiana, right?
Louisiana.
Yeah, man. There you go, guys.
Guys, this is stuff you don't hear in school, man.
Yeah,
This could
yeah,
change your
we're
life.
not gonna. That's
Yeah,
fucking
bro.
You
I buy the property. I rent it to my business.
Yep.
I take
But you
the-
buy it under your name, your
I buy
personal
it under
name.
my name.
Under Justin, but the business is renting it
Right.
from
If I
you.
really want to be an asshole, I'd buy it with business and owner finance to myself and rent it back. But I don't. And now we're just talking shit. But
Yeah.
no. But seriously, if I buy it,
Yeah.
I'll rent it to my business. I'll depreciate it, and then the W-2 income that I get from the S corp as an employee, because I don't have. See, I save the 7% on Social Security, FICA, Medicaid, and everything else because I don't have to match because I own the business, right? So I only pay it once as an employee.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I will.
Which is why S corps are so important.
That's why S corps are so important.
That's why I switched to S corp, guys.
So the taxes that I would pay on the income from the salary of my business will be offset by me renting the property to my business and depreciating it, and then I get to put it against my W-2 income from S corp. Suck it.
Talk
Yeah.
to your local CPAs.
Yeah.
I'm not a CPA. I'm not giving you advice, but I'm telling you, that's how it goes.
That's
Yeah.
good.
No, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like the video, guys, because where else are y'all gonna get this type of content, man?
Millionaires don't ever tell you this type of information.
Yeah, they don't tell you
They
this,
keep to
man.
themselves, save their taxes, and you gotta pay.
Yeah, and then you gotta pay. Are you guys still going to do Money Monday after F&F for each 1 million? Of course.
Yeah, why not?
All $2. Thank you so much. And then we got $10 from Yvette Simonis. What's the point of renting if you're grabbing small profits because of a mortgage payment? Work to purchase a property cash so you can pocket all of the rent. Okay,
most
so
people can't afford to buy property cash, one, and two, let's say you do buy it cash, bro, that's all your liquid cash into property, versus you spent maybe 10%, 20%, or 3%, the rest of the money that you have, you can put towards other investments.
we talked about this on our 6-hour stream. You want to rehash this one more time for the people? Why buying cash is okay. So,
Yeah.
guys, I bought a deal cash last year. Okay, and it was, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, stupid. And the reason why I bought it, guys, I closed on December 30th. I didn't have time to go ahead and go through a traditional bank loan. You know, it takes between 30 to 60 days to close a loan on a residential property. So I was like, I don't got time. I need to do this shit before the calendar year ends. Went ahead and bought cash. Put like $260K cash to buy this house. Now, let me tell you guys why that's fucking stupid and you shouldn't do that. If I had taken that 260, right, I could have went and bought 5 properties, put 20% down on all those properties, controlled 5 different assets, okay, and collected rent from all of them. And then all those properties, I'm putting less money down, controlling the asset, it's appreciating over time, and they're cash flowing for me. That's far better than going ahead and buying it all in one property, because here's the beauty. When you depreciate an asset, guys, for tax purposes, you're not depreciating off of how much money you put down. You're depreciating off the value of the home.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys an example. Let's say you buy a house for $100,000, right? One guy pays cash, one guy pays with 20%. That guy that put 20% down can still write off the entire cost of the house at $100,000 versus the guy that put $100,000 cash into that home. So why the hell would I put $100,000 down if I could write off the entire property price when I could have done that 5 times over and written off $500,000 versus only writing off $100,000 because I only purchased one property with all the cash that I have. And then the other sucky part is that I depleted all my capital to purchase one home. So my cash on cash returns are not going to be as good because I put all my money into it.
And we call that opportunity cost. Opportunity is gone because all your money's into one asset.
You know, yes, you enjoy more cash flow, but it's not like, yes, cash flow is important, guys, but you got to also look at all the other factors as well. Tax liability, appreciation, all these things, and controlling more assets in general.
Same thing with a car. You put all the money down for a car? That's stupid.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's your take on that, Justin, as far as?
Use a car. You know, I bought that G-Wagon. I didn't pay cash for that G-Wagon.
Hell no.
But I get to bonus depreciate $287,000 for that.
Bam.
Bam, done. You know?
And if you buy it cash, you can't depreciate it, guys, for a car, right? So, yeah. So does
These are all
that?
things that if you learn, guys, that you can apply to yourself. Because look, I get it. It makes sense. Buy it cash. You don't have to pay any mortgage. But guess what, guys? You lose all on the back end.
Yeah. Like, because like I said before, you can only write off that one house you paid $100,000 for. But if you took that $20,000 and you spread it over 5 different homes, now you have $500,000 worth of assets you can write off against. That's going to give you less of a tax liability. That's the power of leverage and using the bank. Obviously, don't over leverage and be an idiot, guys, right? But I get it. A lot of you guys watch Dave Ramsey. A lot of you guys watch a little bit more conservative financial channels, and they're going to tell you this, which is cool. Like I don't have an issue with Dave Ramsey. As a matter of fact, I think his advice applies to most Americans that have a spending problem and are financially illiterate. But if you're watching us, you already think you already go against the grain when it comes to women.